Hello there, Lager Counseling Services. I am going to talk to you today about another aspect of eating disorders in this training. So I will be reading some stuff to you because I'm referring to the eating disorder support group that I developed. It's not a support group, it's an actual 10-week group that is designed to help people with eating disorders. So anyone at Lager Counseling Services, not anyone, but someone who would be great at facilitating an eating disorder group here would be able to use all the data, all the curriculum that we have. But I'm going to give you a brief overview of what this eating disorder group is about. Let me just get to it. Sorry for the delay. So the purpose of the group, the ultimate purpose of this group is designed to bring the clients freedom. And it's not just a temporary sense of relief for that period of 10 weeks. The goal is a life-changing, sustainable freedom. And that's what we're looking for with all of our work. We don't want just symptom management or stopping like a behavior. We really want to get to the heart of things and like dig out the root. The group is primarily designed as a disruption. So it's created to disrupt the current blueprint that is repeatedly used to manage all of their life situations with binging, purging, starving, compulsive overeating, all the different various behaviors that really hurt them. The blueprint that creates the struggles in relationships, in their perceptions, and in their reactions, our purpose is to address that multi-dimensional nature of this lifelong embedded structure that's become normal for them. The prison that they're in has become prevalent, and they no longer can see the bars. So what we're here to do is to help them to understand that there are bars and that they are in a prison and what is keeping them there. What are the bars made of so that we can help them to return to freedom? They may not even recognize the ongoing stress that their body and their mind is enduring regarding these current ways of coping and interacting with their life. I can't say that they definitely do not recognize the pain that they're in, but a lot of it is unseen, it's unconscious. So going through just the basics of some writing exercise, these writing exercises are already in this eating disorder group. So I'm going to be showing you what they are. They are first going to, and you can use these in your individual sessions. So a writing exercise would be you simply going to describe. This is the first writing exercise, and you'll be able to print out any of these intracranial in the PDF section. So I'm just going over what it is. It's simply describe how you arrived at your current relationship with your body and food. So basically, everything is about connection and relationship. So once they can identify what is my relationship with food, we find that by first they give an overall, simple description of that. And then as we go through further writing, you'll see that it gets more in depth. And the next question is, what is your inner narrative with regard to being the size you desire? So it could be, what do you tell yourself? Like an example could be, I just have a slow metabolism. I've never been able to blank. I just have to blank. Tomorrow I will. Okay, I just won't eat lunch. Whatever that inner narrative is, that's pushing them to either be a certain size or to restrict a certain thing. We want to understand, we want that, not us understand, we want them to understand what are the inner workings of my mind that are keeping this continuing to give fuel to this behavior that hurts me so much. Then the next thing is write a decision you have made today. This is crucial. All change begins with a decision. No one can make this decision for you, not society, no one. So then in the group, they have kind of like a contract where they make a decision as an authentic act of their will. They've decided to blah, 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 whatever that is. And then they choose to commit my body, soul, and mind to the promise of my ultimate healing. And that's just some stuff that you would do in the group. The following things that I want you to work with your clients on is you're going to be having them do not all of these things, but I have clients in a group go over to the mirror by themselves. So the whole group is in one room, there's a large mirror in the other, and I have them by themselves. And this is not the first group. This is after they've been primed for it. They understand what it is. They have this sheet of paper and it says, dear face, dear neck, dear breasts, dear hips, dear vagina, dear thighs. And it goes all through the body. And they go to the mirror and they write a letter, an honest, real, deep letter, a letter that no one will ever see to those body parts. And it reveals to them a lot of what they feel and how they are interacting with that body. And then one of the things we have them do is we have them write down significant events, memories, comments, or particular feelings associated with this particular time in their life as it relates to their body, to your body, or a particular body part. So before they're 2 years old, and it goes through 2 to 4, 5 to 7, 8 to 11, 12 to 14, 15 to 18, you can have them assess what their relationship was like, or if there were significant events related to their body at different times. And it could be a silly thing that really impacted them tremendously. It might have been being forced to kiss Uncle Dave. It could have been something more serious, sitting on a relative's lap, and the person, something sexual happened. There's a lot of things that could be. So you want them to just take a look at it. The other thing is that in the eating disorder group, another thing we do is my mother, my mirror. So we describe how the mother plays an extremely crucial role in our development on every single level. Our mother is our mirror. And she tells us, and this is very much related to mother and daughter. If you haven't heard mothers, daughters, eating disorders, which is a very common thing. Very often there's a very strong connection. Sometimes there's a controlling connection. There's something happening there between the mother and daughter that it's good to explore. So in this exercise, it explains that our mothers tell us who we are, how to act, how to feel and deal with emotions, how to interact with men, how to interact with women, and how to interact with children. They tell us what a friendship is, what is a man, what is a woman, how to dress and why, how loud or soft to speak, what is okay and not. Our mothers begin as our world. When we leave that world, our interaction with our mother is not separate. So when we're inside our mother's womb, that we are one. And there's no distinction between mother and self. So you want to really remember that as you're working with someone. And this is not about making the mother an enemy. It's just about understanding the incredible power and the beautiful power and some of the damaging power that can come from a mother-child relationship. And very often our mother is our first food. And to remember that there is a very strong connection between the eating process and mother-child relationship. Just remember that, breastfeeding, all that other stuff. So our mother is our first representation of the outside world. She mirrors back to us whether the world is friendly, responsive, available, unavailable, angry, hostile. She tells us if the world is a place that will be easy to survive in. We are born with a bundle of needs. And when you have a mom that is not available to meet those needs, this translates into a world that will not meet my needs. Any shame, confusion, bitterness, fear, rage, sadness found within your mom has the potential to be absorbed by you. So you want to really get to understand what that is, especially when you're dealing with eating disorders, codependency, any kind of sexual abuse, any kind of issues, because this is at the heart of this incredible development. So the thing is, think about it this way. It can be absorbed as your own emotion or your responsibility to fix in your mother or feel guilty about in your mother. Mothers identify their daughters by their own sense of self. Daughters unconsciously look at their mothers as their mirror. when we do look in the mirror to find out what reflection do we hope to see. So somebody with an eating disorder, somehow it can be that they are undoing their mother. It could be that there's shame involved with their mother. I'm not saying that there is. It could be that their mother is an image that they feel like they never could be. There's so many different avenues you can go down. But remember, when you work um, gently and with a wise, astute sense of asking questions along the way that help the client to understand themselves, not to apply what we believe about them on them. Disapproval from a mom tells us we are not performing well enough. We internalize then a poor sense of self. When we see a mother who needs self assurance, we lose ourselves and feel responsible for assuring others. When our needs are attended to with complaining and burdened faces, children internalize guilt. The surest formula for a low self-esteem for a woman is a mom with a low self-esteem. So these are things that you can, over time, begin to understand. When a mom shines out to the world that she belongs here, that she's beautiful, that it is beautiful here, that she can give and receive love, that her femininity is not wrapped up in the approval of a man or the competition of a woman, that she is a dignified person with nothing to apologize for. She reflects this image onto her daughter. If our moms are not okay, then our world is just simply not okay. If our world is not okay, then how can we be? Our mother's appearance. Daughters are more susceptible than sons to taking on their mom's brokenness. Moms who do not trust the feminine may convey that to her daughter. Often women do not like women themselves. They may honor men and hate women, or honor women and hate men. There's different ways that this plays out. It all does depend on the home that you're growing up in, who's raising you, and what their opinions are, and how they're interacting in that way. Women can internalize a low view of women or of men. First 2 years, children are primarily impacted by a lack of maternal love. That is a very, very deep and painful time. Mothers provide a sense of well-being, and a mother wound can result in a weakened capacity to receive and contain love. This all has to do with body image and eating problems. We may work on our mom's appearance through our appearance. So very often, let's say a daughter's parents divorce and the mom never was very concerned herself with her own appearance. The natural tendency for the daughter may be to undo her mom by creating her own physical beauty, to overcompensate for what she perceives as her mother's lack of physical beauty or care, to be beautiful in order to keep a man. You will find that people with eating disorders or with body image issues are extremely focused and also hiding their body and wanting a certain appearance, right? A daughter whose dad left may do everything with her life to get her mom's husband back, which I know that sounds a little abstract. Clean, dress well, have sex, always be pleasing, never complain, be perfect, undo mom. At the same time, this daughter, as a grown up, has internalized her mom's shame and always feels unkept and dirty, even if she's doing all these things outside. You can see that kind of thing very often with bulimia. And it's more of like a kind of normal looking person. They don't look extremely thin or extremely overweight. But when they're acting out with food, binging, purging, there's a lot of need for approval. There's a lot of shame. There's a lot of needing to be special. There's a lot of difficulty with, relationships. Um, so now there's all of this is in your PDF, and it goes through all the different ways ways that we do our writing in this eating disorder workshop. I think it would be very valuable for you to use. You can then utilize this to do exercises with your clients. I'm not going to go through every single one, but in regard to here, one of the things that you can ask your clients is, how has your mother programmed you in regarding to men, marriage, values, femininity, masculinity, adornment, managing emotion, your identity, her identity? So you will understand, if even if you hone in, like, what was your mom's mood like? Children take emotional cues from their parents. How did mom manage her feelings? How are you managing yours? If mom is depressed, typically a child is guilty. Why can't I make her happy? What's wrong with me? Why my world is not okay? If love always had a price and the child learns not to receive, receiving is not safe. Receiving costs. Remember that children are egocentric. Whatever mom is or isn't has nothing to do with her, and it feels as if it has everything to do with them. So basically, what you want to do, and I list over here moms who are martyrs, mom who are victims, messy moms, drunk moms, a groundedness, moms who are grounded. The thing is our moms leave sentences on our hearts. You want to look for them in your client. What sentence did my mom leave on my heart? It could be, just can't seem to please her, or maybe I'm not pleasing, or I'm a burden. Why doesn't anyone listen to me? It can be so many, just you want to hear repeated things that your clients say, because those are usually things that are written on them. Um, Remember that without our mothers, when we're born with a bundle of need. That's what we are. And without our mothers, we die, or whoever is really taking care of us. But the mother is everything, is their full essence. Even if a baby is, adopted and goes to an extremely loving home and the people are immediately connected and close, there is this break at that moment because the child has bonded already biologically by living in their mother's womb. So these are important things to remember. Um, the mother is always answering the question of need. Can I have this? Hold me, feed me, listen to me, watch me. How did she answer? You know, you want to know. We look at her face, her body language, her mood. How am I doing, mom? She's your first mirror. She's your first evaluation. She's your first test, your first playmate, your first audience, your first grade. So then what I have here is a writing assignment for in regard to your mom and for your client. And you can use this with all your clients. My mother's physical appearance told me that I am. Her appearance told me that I am supposed to be. And then we go into her strength or weakness and just a whole bunch of things about mom. And I strongly suggest that you really look at it. You want to also look, this is where food is related. How do I undo my mom? And then it's physically and emotionally. But then how do I undo my mom in relationship to food, with my body, in my relationships? So these are all excellent tools to use when you're working with your clients. Now, within that group, there's also Dear Dad. As my very first date, you taught me that I was. I see men as dad. Inside of me is a space for an ideal father. You have filled some of this space, but there is still a void. My childhood heart yearns for you too. So you want to help your client really get in touch with the unspoken, the unknown, the unresolved issues that continue over and over again to cause them to run from self, to run to food, away from food, to hate themselves, to feel shame, to binge, to purge, to do all of these things. So, Dad, the message I understood from you regarding food was, the message I understood from you about my body was, Dad, you taught me that my value lies in, this is my understanding, Dad, of how you see women. Now, these things, you don't do this all in one session, okay? You're also going to, because you're tapping into their sexuality. And then they write a letter to their dad. They also write a letter to their mom and what they long for. So these are very important tools that you're going to begin to use. And the model that I'm using is the group format that we use for our eating disorder program. I'm going to continue further with more tools, but I don't want to overwhelm you in one session. So until we meet again, peace.